Boys and girls in your hood, how do you choose out of the plethora of agencies and agents? We're going to give you some tools today on selecting a great rental or sales agent. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so let's clap.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Morning Minutes. Myself, Michael Birch, Mark Novak, episode 1545. There are 185 real estate offices on the northern beaches, probably 1,000 agents. How do you know which one to pick? Does it matter? Especially when a lot of people out there will be thinking, well, I'm picking the agent. Does the company matter? Mark, talk to me.
It's hard for people, and you know what? It's you used a word a couple of weeks ago called the sniff test that I liked, and I think a lot of people when you're selecting, you're sort of just going off your gut, and you're sort of going off what you've seen, what you've heard. They're very basic things that people are using when they're selecting a real estate agent at the beginning. Then they get them in their home, they sit them down, they talk with one, two, three, or four. Often just one if it's a sure thing. But it's a big thing, and your home is your biggest asset that you've got, and it's like a bag of cash. You're trusting that bag of cash with someone that you generally don't personally know. So you want to make sure they're accredited, credited, they're good at what they do. It's a big process.
Yeah, and I was just thinking then to myself as well, there's not many other purchases out there that you sort of really rely on a lot of social proof. Like, it's very common for someone to ask their friend which agent to use, who have you used, but nearly anything else you buy, I don't consult my friends or anything on. But in real estate, people still do. So I don't know where that, like, how that applies, but I think it's quite interesting. But where it stems from initially, this conversation is we were looking at basically a bit of the reduction in the Google drop of search words, for example, which agent to choose, picking an agent in DY. And if we're seeing a reduction there, obviously the momentum has got to go somewhere. And I'd love to know that. I wonder if that's gone to social media, but I still
ChatGPT.
So ChatGPT, yep. But I still find a lot of
very customizable now, isn't it? But still very basic, I reckon. If I'm selecting is that a vanilla coffee you have there?
yes, Novak style.
Wow.
All part of the service under this company.
So look, I think the main thing, guys and girls, when you're out there, first of all, you can't go that much wrong these days in our industry anymore. It's so well regulated. It's so well monitored. The good guys and girls are normally the ones that are front and center doing deals. So the shonky shonks aren't really around like they used to be in the 70s. You know what I mean? So it's pretty good these days. It's much like a taxi driver, much like an Uber. There's all these reviewing systems and platforms where it really keeps people in tow. So you can't go too wrong. But I do have to say, when it's the agency, and this is probably a bit different, this conversation, because we're talking about agency rather than agent. I do find that from my end, being a principal of an agency, that there is a duty to your customers being your crew, your customers being your landlords and your prospective vendors and tenants and things like that the team's cohesive, the team's getting along well, the team's super well supported, that the team's super well trained and responsive. So mistakes are always happening in our business, and it's mitigating, minimizing, fixing stuff fast. And people are really acceptable when something goes wrong, but they're not really acceptable when it keeps going wrong, be it a staff member or be it a customer. So I think there's companies that are very good real estate companies. They're very agile and they're very on their feet. How do you pick that Birch?
Well, just to go on what you said, I was speaking to a big developer on the Northern Beaches. I sort of said to him, like, how do you judge a developer? And he goes, it's not the defects, it's how quickly they come back and fix the defects. There's always going to be something missed. There's always going to be something that wasn't done correctly, but the good ones are very responsive. So just to go on what you just said there, and I think you're spot on with your traditional house or your traditional apartment. You can't really go wrong. But where I see say clients go wrong or not the best direction is probably when they've got a bit of a unique property. It could be, say, a commercial property going directly with just a residential agent. It could be a develop. What we went through it with a development site, and we were listening to some of the agents they brought in, and it's like they've never sold a development site. So I think it can be, first of all, identify what you are offering. Is it a house? Is it a commercial property which is used residential? Like, really look at what you're offering and then find the best suit for it. And as you said, there's plenty of websites and mechanisms to find it, because in my experience with it, working for a couple agencies, I can that we're a big some are very good at the bread and butter, where it's nothing unique, same processes. Like, if you're just doing
Cookie
unit,
cutter.
the same model of how you shoot the photography, how the letterbox job is done, and how it's worded. But if you're wanting then to do something a bit more unique, because the offering is unique, it's those changes. Just like you said about fixing the errors, it's also about the changes. Now, to an owner, changing a letterbox shop may just sound so simple. But as you know, if you're outsourcing and you have templates, it's not as simple as just making a quick change. There can be sometimes internal rules. There are no changes. And if you've got a unique offering and you can't really market that differently to expand and to market that change, then that may not be the best fit for you. Or it may take weeks and weeks to get done, to get through the company pipeline of, here's a change, it's got to go through this director or this manager, and then they've got to have a meeting about a change. So I think they're along the lines of there. And I know for myself as an agent, that's been some frustrating points when each property needs to be marketed very differently. Therefore, you need different materials.
It's a bit one size fits all with some agencies, guys and girls. So when you're selling your property or renting your property, be careful about that, because if it's the one size fits all and you're not quite in that type of property,
One
you
size.
could be in trouble. Yeah, if you're XL and they're a medium, size, clothing size, bit of trouble. So I think, yeah, I like what you said. Work out what you're trying to do, whether you're at the type of property you are, whether it's the type of apartment, whether it's a luxury apartment, it's helicopter. Um, yeah, and then try to find that agency that is synonymous for doing that type of business when you're interviewing your real estate agencies. So I think probably that's the biggest thing out of today is make sure that you are, it's not one size fits all with agencies. Find the agency that fits your property, and even sometimes fits you. I know a comment we get from people regularly is we are experts in marketing, that we really stand out with as an agency and what we do when marketing properties. And I think some properties just require that extra oomph. I see some agencies and I actually can't tell the difference between the properties. I look at the photos and that living room looks the same as the other one in that other living room that they're selling looks the same as the other living. It's such just a bland. The properties don't have their own personality. That may work for some agencies, but yes, for some it doesn't.
Yeah, and then obviously once
Member
you've
for Parliament
identified,
just said that. Lisa said she's sitting here watching me. She likes watching me do this. in the sidelines. Yeah, yeah, taking photos and winking at me.
Well, the
Yeah,
mentor
sorry.
is just making sure
The mentor, the
that her
mentor's
training,
watching.
the training on you is that you're
Coach,
learning and you're listening.
Coach Lisa. Yeah,
Your
yeah.
coach is there. And then obviously once you've nominated the company, then it can come down to a bit of a personality who I've used it since day one in real estate. When it comes to real estate agents, I like to remind people it's like teachers at school. They all get thrown with that sort of same blanket. Oh, they're a teacher. But when you think back to your days at school, there were teachers that you resonated with.
I love that.
You
I
learned
love that.
with. And
Yep.
just like real estate agents, they're just like people. They're all different personalities. We talk about it all the time. Like when we have presentations, we got some clients where on the first point you're talking for an hour because they love the back and forth. Obviously, most agents can talk, and then there's some presentations where they don't say a word back. They just take in all the information. They want to wait till you leave, basically, and read it all.
Yeah.
And you get through your presentation in like 5 minutes, and you're like, how did that go? And you got no idea. And then you get the
And you go, that went shit. Then they ring you the next day and say, let's sell. And you're like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's choosing real estate agencies today. And guys, it's not one. It's not one size fits all. Analyze the type of property that you are going to be renting, you're going to be selling, and then match your agency with that. And Birch, have a lovely day. What are you doing today, Birch?
Hopefully selling some Havana. It's an awesome new building in DY. It's going to be completed in the next couple of weeks. Been a part of it since selling the site originally, so it's really excited to sell the last few. That's my main agenda for today.
I'm going out to install some poles into the ground. I'm going to install some poles into the water. So the guys are waiting for me, and I'm just about to jump on the boat, and then we're going to install some of those poles that you can see. So yeah, it's a big job.
Yeah, well, good luck. Don't get too wet.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Your hair might get.
I've got a mohawk going today, so it's fine.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, everyone.
Have a great day. See you, Birch.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Happy